Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. In this channel, we are doing different chapters in class 9, 10, 11 and 12. Class 9 biology chapters are all done, and some chapters MCQs are also available. You can check in the playlist. And now we started with the chemistry chapters. First chapter is over. Today we will start the second chapter, is matter around us pure. Now we are going to study the heterogeneous mixtures. In that, first is suspension. Suspension word meaning itself is dispersed in a kind of medium like liquid, right? So, for example, when you were in smaller classes, your teacher must have asked you to do the soil profile. So, for that you put some soil in a bottle, and you added some water, mixed it and left it for some time. So, initially you can see the muddy water, later that settles down. So, that's the example of suspension. Or you put some chalk powder in water and you mix. You will not see the chalk powder mixing in water just like a sugar or salt did. Okay, the same way if you add flour, atta, that also will not dissolve or disappear like a salt or sugar, but it will be visible to us. But if you leave it undisturbed for some time, they will settle down. So that's called a suspension. So here you can see the characters. First, they are heterogeneous mixture, solution was homogeneous. Here particles are suspended and visible. In homogeneous, particles were not visible. Then here they can scatter the light, and as a result path of light is visible because here the particle size is bigger than 1 nanometer. Then solute settles down, means after some time, whether it is chalk powder, that's a solute, or flour or atta, that is a solute, that is settles down after some time. So we can say that this is unstable because one time we are seeing the particles are there, after some time we are seeing they have settled down, so it's not stable, right? But solution was stable. Then last, can be separated by physical process like filtration. So once you filter, you can see the chalk settling down on the filter paper and only water comes down. So we can separate the components out. So it is a heterogeneous mixture. Though the path is visible when the particles are suspended, once they settle down, then the path won't be visible anymore. The next type of mixture is called a colloid. Colloids are also heterogeneous mixtures, but they look like a homogeneous mixtures. They are evenly distributed, but they are actually heterogeneous mixture. For example, if you add a milk in the water, you will not be able to see milk particles separately, or ink in the water, but still these particles are suspended. Okay. And next is, they cannot be seen with our naked eye. Individual particles cannot be seen with our eyes. Then their particles are little bigger, so they can scatter light. As a result, path of light is visible. So this scattering of light by colloidal particles is called a Tyndall effect. Usually we can see this Tyndall effect when the light is entering through a small hole inside a room, or when you go to movie theaters. Nowadays it is digital, so that is not applicable. Before and all, they would have a projector from behind, they would project it on the screen. So the path would be visible if dust or smoke is there in the air. Okay, so we could see the path in the theater. Or sometimes in our homes, when we open the curtain in the morning, and so if there is suspended particles in the air like a dust or smoke, we can see. Most of the time in my kitchen in the morning it is very visible because light comes through one side, and if I am cooking something, because of the smoke, the path is very clearly visible. So that is called a Tyndall effect. Or in the forest and all, we can see through the canopy when the light is coming inside, because of the suspended particles, the path will be visible. This is called a Tyndall effect. Tyndall is the name of the scientist who explained it. So Tyndall effect means what? The scattering of light by colloidal particles. Then they don't settle down. Unlike our suspension, if you keep it undisturbed, the particles settle down. Here the particles will never settle down. They will be completely dispersed. Then cannot be separated by filtration. Even if you filter milk in water, it will completely come down. We will not get milk on top or water at the bottom. But Here we can separate by a different technique called centrifugation. Centrifugation means we are rotating it at a very high rate, maybe 10,000 times per second, like that. We can adjust the rotation frequency. This apparatus is there for centrifugation, apparatus is there. In that we can do it. So different methods we can separate based on density. For example, blood or milk and all, we can do centrifugation and we can separate the components out. Okay, so the filtration is not through filtration, separation of particles is not possible, but through centrifugation process it is possible. Now when we take solution, we learn the major component is called a solvent, in which the particles are dissolved, that is called the solute, right? Here also we have two phases, we can say. Dispersed phase and a dispersing medium. Dispersed phase is like the solute, that is the particle which are distributed or dispersed. For example, when I am adding milk into water, milk particles are the dispersed phase, okay? Whereas the water is the major component like solvent, which will allow them to disperse in them. So that is called the dispersing medium. So every colloid has a dispersing medium, which is a larger component. In that, dispersed phase will be there. So depending upon that, there are different types of colloids based on their state, solid, liquid or gas. The following table you can see the different types of colloids. Dispersed phase is liquid. It is dispersing in a medium of gas. We get aerosol, that is fog, clouds, mist are all examples. If solid is there in gas, then it is called aerosol, smoke, automobile exhaust, etc. If a gas is dispersed in liquid, then it is called a foam, shaving cream as an example. If a liquid is the dispersed phase in dispersing medium liquid, then it is called an emulsion, milk, face cream are all examples. If a solid is dispersed in a dispersing medium, that is liquid, then it is called salt, milk of magnesia or mud are examples. If gas is dispersed in solid, that is again called foam, example foam, rubber, sponge, pumice, etc. Then if liquid is dispersed in solid, it is called a gel, jelly, cheese, butter are examples. If solid is dispersed in another solid, then it is called solid salt, example colored gemstone, milky glass, etc. Hope you understood all the concepts I explained today clearly. If you have any suggestions or doubts, please do it in the comment box. Please share with your friends and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to it. Thank you for watching Biology My Passion.